And good evening, Florida. It is time for yet another Starlink launch from the Space Coast in the East. My name is Magnus. I've joined you guys before. I'm a rocket chaser here at TLP on the West Coast, and I'll be your host for today. Today's launch is a yet another launch of Starlink satellites. These are becoming pretty routine, but this is a launch of the Starlink Group 6 shell. So this is the launch of Starlink Group 6-94. Just about 1 minute ago, stage 2 did begin its LOX load, which will take just around 10 minutes before it prepares for launch, just around 14 minutes from now. As always, feel free to drop some questions in chat or any comments, and we'll answer them as we go. As always, we're going to start off with what's become typical here. We're going to take a little bit look at what today's trajectory is looking like. Much like the other Starlink Group 6, much like other launches in Starlink Group 6, this is heading to the southeast trajectory. The drone ship today is going to be a short fall of gravitas, and it is positioned just east of the Bahamas. Trajectory today is, as I said, going to the southeast, and it will head down in that direction to the 43-degree inclination. Following separation, the second stage will perform a deorbit burn, and the second stage will land just south of South Africa. Booster flying for today's flight is going to be B1085. It is flying for its 12th time. Ignore it saying the 11th time. That is a small mistake on our end. It is flying for the 12th time. It has flown 11 times, but today will be its 12th flight. It's been 59 days since it flew last. Its last flight was Starlink 1027 back in September. So this will be its 11th flight. Some notable launches. This booster has actually launched things to the moon. It launched Blue Ghost and the Hakuta R Resilience Lander back in January. It's launched the GPS-3 mission, and it launched Crew 9. So quite a nice manifest. Not as many launches as some other boosters, but it's definitely getting up there in those numbers. At this point in time, we are just around 12 minutes from launch. We'll get the feed from SpaceX up as soon as we get it. But until then, we are tracking good weather, as you can see on that weather radar. So it looks like it's going to be a nice launch today. While we're at it, again, feel free to drop some questions below and by tagging us at the launch pad, and we'll get to those answers. We'll answer those as soon as we can. All right, on your screen right now is going to be. Uh, we are going to get on screen right now just a little bit of the action going on at the Space Coast side of everything. Today, Jacqueline arrived with its catch. Um, on your screen is a nice photo by Gavin, one of our rocket chasers on the Space Coast side. As you can see, uh, Never Tell Me the Odds has returned back to port, and we just wanted to show that while we're counting down. But as that, we're gonna ask. I'm gonna answer a couple of questions here. Being asked, is the Transporter 15 still scheduled to? Is Transporter 15 still scheduled tomorrow, and is TLP going to stream it? Uh, Transporter mission is unfortunately no longer scheduled for tomorrow. That is on my coast here in California. It has, from what we understand, it has been pushed to Thursday, November 20th, and is scheduled for the window opens at 10:18 Pacific time. And as always, the launch pad will have a broadcast for that when that ultimately happens. If you are just joining us today, this is the launch of Starlink 6-94 from Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Spaceport Station, where Falcon 9 is preparing to launch just around 8 minutes from now, and it will be carrying 29 Starlink satellites to a low Earth orbit to that 43-degree inclination. Just around 40 seconds from now, Falcon 9 will perform its engine chill, uh, where the where a small amount of liquid oxygen will be sent into the main combustion chamber of those Merlin engines, and it is going to cool down all those systems in preparation for launch. Following that engine chill, the strong back will retract, which will be one of those first things we're going to see once we get that feed on the air. But with that, we are continuing to count down. Feel free to continue to send some questions here and there, and we'll answer them as we count down to yet another launch here from the Florida Space Coast. I'm seeing a couple questions in regard to when Nord Space is going to launch. We don't have a confirmed date yet for that Nord Space launch, but once we do, uh, you'll be sure to be the first ones to know, and we will have a broadcast for that first Canadian launch. And I'm pretty sure that Zach is going to be more than happy to host that. Uh, Zach is a little busy right now, which is why I've taken over some of these Starlink launches, so we can continue to have some of those broadcasts for you.
Rising for strong back retract.
And you just got to call it there as we get that feed on screen. The tanks are pressing for a strong back retract. We'll start to see those clamps opening on that strong back in just around this point, at the 4 minute and 30-second mark. Those clamps will open up and the strong back will slowly retract a couple degrees. Unlike the Vandenberg strongback at Slick 4E, both the strongbacks at Cape
Automation has started.
and there's that call up for strongback retract. Both strongbacks on the Florida Space Coast retract only a couple degrees prior to liftoff, and then they retract fully at liftoff versus the one at Vandenberg is going to retract fully. On your screen right now, you can slowly see those white clamps opening at the base of the fairing. The fairing is that little bulge out there, which you can see on your screen. And those clamps are going to open, and we'll slowly see that strongbacks retract. Following that strongback retract, which we're just about starting to see right now, you can see a little bit of that movement. We are going to get a call out that stage 1 LOX load is complete, which should happen just around the 3-minute mark. Awaiting that call out now for stage 1 LOX load complete.
Stage 1 LOX load complete.
And there's that call out. And with that, the stage 1 on Falcon 9 is fully fueled with its liquid oxygen propellant. Just around 1 minute from now, we'll hear that same call out just for the second stage. That second stage will be fully loaded with liquid oxygen. It takes about 14 minutes to fully fuel it. We started that fueling at just around 16 minutes, and now it's getting close to completion. And we'll be hearing that call out shortly in just around 30 seconds from now. And if you go in the chat right now, you're going to see a poll for which space coast is your favorite. Yes, with yesterday's launch, we had a little bit of a bias from the Space Coast West side in California, which I agree is the best coast. But now
Stage
the
2
Florida,
LOX
the
load
Florida
complete.
side, you get, and there's that call for stage 2 LOX load complete. Now's your chance, Florida, to get back at the West Coast. Be sure to vote in the chat right now. We're just around 2 minutes from launch. There's quite a few things that are going to be happening here at the 1 minute mark. You should be in just around 30 seconds from now. You'll be hearing that ground vent closeouts, which means that they're going to purge those lines, ground glass closeouts, and they're going to purge those lines.
Launch closeouts.
And there's that call out. We're going to see quite a bit of venting there from that strongback, and there's that venting starting. They're purging those lines in preparation for startup and liftoff to make sure there's no residual propellant left in those lines.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Chief Engineer, in consultation with the launch director, go for launch.
A little bit different call out there, but there is that go from that launch director. We are just around 30 seconds from launch.
30 seconds.
There's that call out, 30 seconds from launch. At just around 5 seconds from launch, you might see a little bit of a green flash from that T-tep igniting those 9 Merlin engines, which will ignite in a staggered position. We are counting down 15 seconds.
T-minus 15. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power.
liftoff. Go SpaceX, go Starlink.
M1D chamber pressures are nominal.
Falcon is pitching downrange.
And liftoff of Starlink 6-94, carrying 29 Starlink satellites to a low Earth orbit. Liftoff time was at 7:12:20 Eastern Standard Time. Up next, you will hear a call out saying that Falcon 9 is supersonic, followed by a call out saying that Falcon 9 has passed through the point
Power
of
and
maximum
telemetry nominal.
aerodynamic pressure. And there's a standard call out, power and telemetry is nominal. We should be hearing that supersonic call out in just around 10 seconds.
Vehicle is supersonic.
And there's that call out. Following that, we'll be having the max Q call out.
Max Q.
There's that call out for a max Q. Falcon 9 has passed through the point of maximum dynamic stress on the vehicle. As its speeds increases, the pressure decreases, and that point is where that ratio is just high enough that there's quite a bit of pressure on the vehicle. At
MVAC
this
chill
point
has
in time,
started.
there's that call out for the MVAC chill startup. At this point in time, there is just around 1 minute left of that stage 1 flight. We should be seeing main engine cutoff at that 2 minute and 27-second mark, where those 9 Merlin engines will shut off in a staggered position and prepare for that booster return. As you can see, as the altitude increases, there's that plume expansion as the pressure of the atmosphere decreases, and there's less pressure to hold that plume in a straight configuration, so it expands, and that's why those vacuum nozzles are a little bit longer than a typical sea level. We're expecting staging in just a few seconds from now.
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
There is MECO and stage separation and MVAC startup. See a little bit of that green flash from that DTEB on the second stage, and it is throttling up. At this point in time, we're seeing those hypersonic grid fins deployed. Those grid fins are made out of titanium and will allow for the vehicle to steer itself as it comes in for landing.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There's that call out for fairing separation, and you can see those lights be illuminated on those individual Starlink satellites. There's 29 of them. On the left side of your screen, you can see a little bit of that Florida Space Coast fading from view as Falcon 9 uses its cold gas thrusters to reorient itself in preparation for a landing on the drone ship. Just read the instructions. A short fall of gravitas positioned just east of the Bahamas in the Atlantic Ocean. At this point in time, Falcon 9, the first stage is still ascending due to its velocity that it had. It is slowing down and it's reaching that top of that parabola at its apogee, which is usually around 113 to 114 kilometers. We are standing by for that in just a few seconds from now. You should start to see that acceleration. And it looks like we reached that point. It was 113 kilometers. It is preparing to descend now. Uh, it's going to gain some vertical velocity and it's going to come in for that landing. Just around 1 minute and 30 seconds from now, stage 1 will ignite its 3 Merlin engines to start that entry burn. While that first stage booster continues to fall down back to Earth, the second stage is continuing to fire that Merlin vacuum engine and gain some of that velocity. We're currently at an altitude of 147, 148 kilometers, and that number is going to keep gaining. That burn still that second stage still has about 3 minutes left of that burn before starting its coast, and we are standing by for that entry burn just around 30 seconds from now. The vehicle is traveling just around 2 kilometers per second. You can see some of those cold gas, some of that cold gas from those thrusters as it adjusts that apogee.
Stage 1
Unfortunately,
FTS
there's
has
not enough.
safed.
There's that call out. The FTS has been saved on the first stage, and we should have a call out of that being saved on the second stage very shortly.
Stage
Standing by
1
for that
entry
entry
burn
burn.
startup.
There's that call out for entry burn startup. 3 Merlin engines are starting up in order to slow the vehicle down just enough so it doesn't break apart on that reentry.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Stage 2 FTS has safed.
And there's that call out for FTS being saved. As you can see on your left hand side of your screen, you can see some of that plasma forming through those hypersonic grid fins as they become more as they start working a little bit more. We're slowing down. We are just slowing down from about 1 kilometer per second there, counting that horizontal and vertical velocity. Unfortunately, can't see those separately. And we're preparing for a landing burn just around 40 seconds from now.
Stage 1 transonic.
Waiting that landing burn just around 10 seconds from now.
Stage 2
You can
terminal
see
guidance.
a short fall of gravitas there on the left,
Stage
that
1
little
landing
light
burn.
there. And there's that start. Falcon 9 is now repositioning itself in order to land on the drone ship, a short fall of gravitas. There's that drone ship coming into view.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And there are the landing legs. You can see that drone ship and a bullseye landing on the drone ship. Just read the instructions.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
B-1085 has completed its 12th landing. With that, that second stage burn should be coming to an end just around now before it starts.
I'm back shut down.
There's that call out for the MX shutdown before it starts its coast phase for around 40 minutes, where it starts that engine for 1 second to circularize that orbit and deploys
Nominal
those
orbit
satellites.
insertion.
And there's that call out for nominal orbital insertion. Starlinks will deploy at T plus 1 hour and 5 minutes, but unfortunately, SpaceX no longer shows those deployment feeds and ends their broadcast just around now. So with that, we'd love to thank you. We at TLP would like to thank you all for joining us today. As always, it is a pleasure having you here. We appreciate every single one of you, and we can't wait to have you guys again on Transporter 15, which is going to be on this Thursday at 10:18 a.m. Pacific time. With that, my name is Magnus. I'm a rocket chaser for TLP. Be nice to each other because space is better together, and good night.